Alright, on today's episode of Domestic Dad, we are going to make a Orzo chicken sausage one pot meal, all in this big stock pot here today. We have some bone broth, some Orzo, some mozzarella cheese to make it nice and thick, and then we have our chicken and our sausage. Sausage can be either pork, but we're going to go with chicken today just to keep it all in the same food group. So first off, we're gonna start cutting our chicken and browning them in our big old. All right, so we have our sausages here. We diced them up nice and small so they can be eaten by everybody. We're gonna pop in about a tablespoon of olive oil, and then we'll go right into the saucepan. Let that start to brown, get some good coloring, and then we're gonna start cutting our chicken and start dumping them in as well. Make sure everything gets cooked at a time and nice and well for our dinner. All right, so we have this really big chicken breast right here that we are going to cut up and dice just as small as our sausage. Again, we're going to cut it long ways and then strips and then quarter it again so it's nice and small. This is going to be anywhere between one package, so 3 of your regular chicken breast or one of these really, really big ones we get far from the local farmer's market. It's really good and really delicious. So we're going to cut this up and then put it into our pocket. All right, so we're going to cut these long ways just like so. Nice big old strips. And then we are going to dice them into our cubes. Nice, good, uniform pieces. They want to be about this big. There's about 2 of them. So again, nice big cubes. They will reduce down nicely in our Italian chicken dish tonight with some sausage. It'll be really, really nice and lovely. All right, once we got our meat in the pot, it's cooking down as we try to get a good picture of it. Right, whoa, right there. All right, we're gonna let that cook down, simmer down, and it's gonna go until all the pieces have been cooked. That can be between 5 to 10 minutes. All right, we see that everybody in the pot here. We're just trying to get this nice and brown, good coloring. So again, we can see some of the pieces are still a little pink, a little raw in there. We just want to reduce that rawness and make sure it's all cooked all the way through. So we're just gonna let this go, stirring occasionally. Again, we still got about 3 or 4 minutes to go. All right, so as that is reducing down, we are going to cut some asparagus. Again, we're going to cut it right before the bend, which is going to be right next to this rubber band. And then we are going to pop everything else off, put everything else in our discard pile, which is over there on the side, and then cut these up into smaller pieces. So again, it's easiest for us to eat. Once we get done with that, then we're going to dice an onion and pop that into our pan. And then at that point, the chicken and the sausage will be cooked. We'll throw some salt and pepper and garlic from our Kinder's blend and a little bit of Italian seasoning just to emphasize that Italian blend that we're trying to work with here. And then once everything, all of our vegetables are in the pot, then we are going to stir in our orzo and then add our liquid to reduce down, all for this simple one pot meal. All right, so we're going to take our onion. We slice the top off of here. We sliced it in half. Then we're going to peel back the onion to reveal all of its goodness. Then we're going to cut vertically so we can get some good, nice dice of food. And then we're going to go horizontally, just like so. And then we're going to chop it down. Sometimes a bigger knife is a little bit easier to work with, so you get all those pieces nicely chopped. But again, we're just looking for a rough dice. This is going to sweat down and be really, really tasty. A nice little add-in for our one. All right, everybody's in the pool. So we're going to give this a good old stir. Lots of meat, lots of vegetables. Again, we want to sweat this down. We'll start adding some of our seasonings. Again, our Kinder's blend, actually, our Kinder's balsamic and herb blend. I think it's gonna go really, really nice. That we can don't have to necessarily add in our Italian seasoning, and then we'll add a little salt and pepper just to enhance the. All right, so we're gonna add a little bit of garlic, salt, and pepper in here. Give this one more good shake. And then we're going to add our liquid, our Orzo, and then our liquid. So good shake. Again, this is going to be 1 cup of Orzo. Okay, get it going. Start the toasting process here. Mix well with our chicken sausage, asparagus, and onions. Okay, and we got that mix. We were going to add our liquid. I like to do 1 cup of bone broth and then 1 cup of water. So we're just going to pour that in, make sure it covers. Again, this is about 2 total cups of liquid. We're going to place it in here, give it a little stir, and then we're going to cover and let this cook down between 12 to 15 minutes. We want all the liquid out of this pot, and then it'll be time to serve. As this goes, just give it a nice good shake. Make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom of the pan. And again, we're still just going to let it roll, let that liquid all drain out. At some point, we'll uncover it, but for right now, we're going to keep it covered and then finish it up with some awesome Borsian garlic and fine herbs. We pair really, really nice with that balsamic taste. Alright, so once we reduced it, we kind of see that it's just underneath of where the food is. We're going to throw in our boars in to finish it. Usually we want to do one of the big ones, but we have all the little small snack size ones. So just throw it all in there, just give it a nice stir, let the water finish reducing down, and then it is. Alright, so as our food is finishing reducing down, we're going to take some butter, put in some saucepan over here. It's going to be about a tablespoon of butter. Let that start to melt down just like that. And then we're going to add about 1/3 of a cup of breadcrumbs so we get a nice good crunch. So it's not all of the same mushy flavors. Try to get a little bit of different textures to help enhance eating our meal tonight. So we'll let this go. We're going to toast it down, make sure it turns nice and golden brown as we just turn it around, cook it. Alright, so it's turning nice and golden brown. We're going to take a big old spoonful of our 1 pot Orzo, asparagus, chicken, and sausage. Ladle that out, just like so. And we're going to take some of these breadcrumbs and just ladle them on top, just like that, so we get a little bit of a crunch and a texture. Enjoy!